Good evening. It's exactly 7 o'clock EST on Monday night, so you know what that means. It's time for DreadLore.
Boom.
We're doing it. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time, and we've missed you. So I'm glad you're back. We're back into space.
How are you?
How are you? Thanks to our cast, Bill, Ken, Daniel, Drizzle, Andrea, and others. Thanks for the score, all lowercase letters, and Mr. Interrupt. Our Patreons, Tim Roberts, Daniel Holker, and Nostalgic, as well as Couchfire Media for the art and media production. Couchfire. Replay Productions.
Whoever they are.
Great for those stories and so much more. Please subscribe today, soldier. Subscribe, and you too can be a citizen. Welcome into space.
Hell yeah, man. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? Everybody say hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Let's introduce ourselves. Hey, Holker, you start.
My name's Daniel, and I'm playing Private Burgess. He is a private in his prior life on the planet that humanity originated from, Novus Prime.
No. They're going to Novus Prime.
Going to Novus Prime.
Yeah.
So in a prior life, he had some background as sort of an emergency first responder type person in space.
He's really good at it, right?
Yeah. And went to sleep too many times and might have his brain scrambled. He has trouble thinking outside of the box.
That's a good one. Good. Has a bit of a problem with boxes, doesn't he? Yeah. Andrea?
Yeah, I am Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and I am playing Katrina Telmus, who is a Martian. She comes from a family who is sort of Martian nobility in a sense. Her grandfather, during the war, decided to, towards the end, turned against the Martian military and fought on the side of Terrans, and in turn, was given a very high status at the conclusion of the war with Prime winning it, obviously. But the flip side of that is she kind of gets shit from both ends. She doesn't really, the Prime people don't really like her because she's a Martian, and the Martians aren't terribly fond of her family because, well, they're essentially traitors. So yeah, I mean, she lived a very comfortable life, but also with a constant stigma that she kind of can't really escape. So she decided to sort of make her own way as a mercenary, and that's what she's been doing for most of her life.
Indeed. Ken?
Dolby. My name is Ken, and I play a character, Dolby Newman, who is a first lieutenant, an acting first lieutenant, second grade. He's got education far beyond a second grader, but has the emotional intelligence of maybe a second grader. He is the commander of this ragtag space group, reluctant commander. He'd much rather be following orders than giving them. And whenever he has free time, he likes to spend that time inebriated to the point of not being able to see straight, which seems to be an ongoing theme for the characters that I play. And
what does it mean?
What does it mean?
So a couple things. Hey, we're on. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to put us in.
I was like, we're on. Go on.
I was the switching. I'm still getting used to the new.
What's the
I
new
don't
setup?
know. The setup is new. We've got. You see what I mean by skins? They're skins around us.
Yeah, no, I dig it. It looks great.
I
Yeah,
think
what does the chat
I
think?
hope
Do you
so.
think you like this sexy skins going on? Dude, our video game, wow, it's weird to say that. Our video, I don't want to use the word game.
our
like,
ability. I don't know.
Ability, it has increased dramatically, and my ability to speak has decreased dramatically. At any rate, oh yeah, we're at 100 followers on Twitch.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah. Next goal is 300 followers. Dun-na. Got 3 subscribers. We're looking for 10. If you want to jump on that, please help us out. Okay, awesome. So it's been a while since we played Into Space, a couple weeks. Before that, it was like 2 months or something. We're gonna do a little tiny whiny. I hate that word. I'll never say it again. Tiny recap to get you guys back into the flow of it. In order to do this, let's go round robin, saying one thing with a short description about the setting. Where are you guys? Who are you guys? What's the sort of state of being of where you are? I will start it out. It is the near-ish future, about 400 or 500 years in the future. Humanity, now called Zens, have expanded throughout the Sol system. We no longer call Earth Prime. I'm sorry, we no longer call Earth, we call it Prime. Think of the Expanse. That's a sort of a situation politically, except the Sol System Authority, which is the SSA, they're essentially fascists. So if you think of Starship Troopers, the Alien franchise, you're in the right ballpark. They've expanded beyond the Sol System to the proximal colonies. That's within 4 to 6 light years of Prime of the Sol System. And then there are a few distal colonies. The furthest one's around 20 light years away. Takes a really long time to get to these places. The fastest you can travel, by and large, takes you about light speed. And we won't get into the science fiction, but essentially you can go light speed, and the time dilation is so that it's not much more above that. Meaning, if you were to go 10 light years, you've spent around 11 years actually traveling. The people around you have experienced about 11 years going on. There is some science to that, there is some physics to that, but we don't need to go into it right now. How do you achieve this? Gravity drives that map out gravity lanes. These are infested with pirates. When you're within an actual solar system, you use light sails and nuclear rockets. So the light sails, you're literally sailing on solar winds, right? So the further away from stars you go, you're getting to the doldrums. It's much more difficult to actually travel. You've got to find one of these gravity lanes, or actually have a gravity drive, which is only military. You guys are Marines in the Prime Marine Corps, which is attached to the Prime Naval Brigade, and you go deal with issues, for the greater good. The greater good. Okay, Andrea, what's something else about this world?
There are sort of artificial intelligences.
Heresy.
I don't really. Well, there are computer-assisted programs that help us. And
They're not
some
sentient.
might question.
They better not be sentient.
Some people say that there might be some of those around. But the military will never tell you one way or another, and maybe they're just so lifelike that you can't really tell anyway. So how would you know?
Indeed.
And there's
Going on
also
that?
maybe some aliens sometimes.
Okay, you're gonna be killed soon. Reprogrammed a couple times. Yeah, you got robotic intelligence, which is RI. For the real world, all of them are sentient. But the RIs are definitely not. They have firmware and software that prevents them from making certain decisions. You've also got AI, artificial intelligence, which is supposedly available. And then you have true AI, which definitely does not exist. Of course, there's no way. Think of Ghost in the Shell. That's where a true AI would not be bound by any physical means unless they wanted to. Whereas an AI would be more like a Cortana, like an ancillary in Halo. And they don't exist.
Never fought them once, ever.
Nope. All right, Holker, something else.
We are doing this to earn our citizenship with the Association of Settlements. The future is now, as the Admiral told us before we left.
Would you perhaps be looking at a certain document, Holker?
No.
So the world knows that document is available if you go to DreadLore.com. I'm posting it in the chat presently. You can find a bunch of materials for the game system we are playing, DreadLore. Character sheets, this setting into space. You can get the digital core book for free. You can get the digital getting started guide for free. You can buy the actual core book, a sexy 494 page tome of artwork and goodness. Okay. Hey, Ken, what else is something else about the world?
Oh gosh. I think that the real story that we should be following is the story between Dole and Lieutenant Josh. It's a love story between an engineer and a pilot. And maybe there's been some infidelity, but
Maybe.
we're hoping that healing is the true answer, and that we all get along. Alice Brick also probably despises Dolby, but maybe not. Maybe he got through to her after he killed his second in command for apparently no reason in her mind. But really, the story is between Dole. This is Dole and Josh. Love story.
And indeed, really nothing about that's true. But you do bring up an interesting point. You have some NPCs with you. Let's introduce them. Holker, introduce one. I'm testing them. Do they know?
Huh?
Did they write down anything?
Yeah, so our first NPC is Alice Brick.
Alice Brick.
Lieutenant
That's
Alice
all we
Brick.
know.
Lieutenant Alice Brick.
No, she's a private.
Private. She was one of the dissidents who tried to,
There we go.
tried to off Burgess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back
Burgess
on
has not forgotten
Luna.
that.
Back on Luna. So you remember that? That's good. She was re-educated and given a second, aka last chance, by being attached to Dolby's fire team. You guys have a name. Do you remember it?
We are the 4 burning sensations.
That's right.
Formerly known as Fire Team 4.
Right. Ken, did you throw up Alice Brick's info and all that
did.
stuff? Oh, you did? Cool.
Well, I mean,
Otherwise, I will move on. A dark-haired lass. She's from Luna, or Lunia, if you will, and with an Irish accent, kinda. Hey, Andrea, what's another NPC you got with you?
Mr. Engineering, who's good at engineering stuff.
Yeah? Can you tell me anything about him?
Played one game, man. I mean,
I went
like,
over
honestly,
it all before
you
we
did, but that was just like,
You didn't
you
write it
didn't
down.
really tell me.
I knew it. It was a test. Damn it. The test.
When have I ever written anything down?
That's a fair point.
And you have to admit, she is new to the ship, so she doesn't know the details of all of who's who and what's what. In her defense.
Indeed. In her defense. It's going to be a fun session. Right, so Dole Engineering, he's a... Can I say that? I don't know if I can actually say... Well, fuck it, I'm going to say it. He's a soy boy, is quite literally what he is. And it makes sense because in the future, you are all space vegans. I know, Ken, it just makes you cringe. I don't actually think it's one of the bad words, and I don't think it's a slur. I think it's used as a bad word, but I don't think it's always bad. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it is. That is an incredible way to describe this guy.
There are a lot of places where vegan is a bad word.
Truth. This dude is... So in my mind, he's tall, kind of gaunt because he's lived in space most of his time. He's soft looking, but his appearance betrays he's physically strong, wiry and ropey. But he kind of just looks like his skin has no sunlight, doesn't touch it, and he looks very soft. And based on the stuff that you guys all eat, it's this sort of mush, rations. So he looks like that. He looks like a soy boy, and in fact, maybe there is even a class of people that are called that in this universe. Anyway, he is in a relationship with Josh Deargan, who we'll go to next. Ken, would you like to talk about Josh?
Josh is a capable pilot who is
good
I don't know.
artwork. That's cool.
He's
really
the pilot of the mission, and I don't really know a lot about Josh. I think he's coping with some stuff because Dole cheated on him, and that's what this story, the central aspect of this story.
You guys keep on making it. Dole is far more emotional. He's Dole Engineering. He's a tortured person. He broods and is self-destructive. That's a pretty big part of Dole's personality. Whereas Josh is more rational.
Yeah, pretty even keel.
Josh is pretty even.
Kind of rolls with the punches.
Yeah, he's got that pilot mentality of just being able to deal with things even if all hell's breaking loose. The darker issue that you guys have realized between Josh and Dole is there may have been some sort of conspiracy back a few sessions ago. There was in the Sol system, a capital ship, transport ship, supposedly, that Dole was working on. Shortly after he returned from working on it, exploded off Neptune's orbit and critically damaged Neptune station, which there's a whole thing. It's pretty clear, I think, to maybe some of you that would be in the know, that either Josh or Dole either know something more than they're telling, or suspect something. It's definitely weighing on them. All right, you've got Cherokee Sue, who is a PC who's not here. Cherokee Sue is one of Dolby's oldest friends. And at one point, you guys were actually very close. Since the re-education, it's been a little bit tumultuous. You got Skip Trace, another PC who's not here. Skip Trace is not a hard-boiled detective, but he's the Marine version of that. He shoots first and maybe asks questions. He takes orders, and he is a what do you say? Not dyed in the wool, like something about leather. He chews leather Marine. I can't remember what it's called. Tough as leather Marine, something along those lines.
Not like red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather,
red.
yellow leather. Red leather.
You mean like
leather,
Leatherneck?
yellow leather.
You mean
Like
like
a leatherneck?
Leatherneck?
Oh, leatherneck. Yeah, he's like a leatherneck. Leatherneck Marine. Okay. That's the situation. Last bit of information, just because I know that the only person that remembers this is Dolby. You guys are on a mission. You've been traveling now for 10 years in cryo sleep on and off toward a proximal colony. It's just off the beaten path called Novus Prime. It's a bi-star system? Bi-solar system? What's the word? Binary system. Lord. Blew up my mind. So binary star system. It has a gas giant, and one of the moons, Novus Prime, is where you're going. There's a colony there. You guys have found out, although I don't know if Dolby has shared all the information, because for some reason you guys just don't fucking share shit. It is a mining colony. Specifically, they mine cobalt. Cobalt's a big deal. It's used in batteries and all sorts of different things. They also mine copper, I believe, because apparently cobalt comes with copper. The atmosphere has a specific iron, silvery blue tinge to it. It is not technically toxic, but prolonged exposure is not a great thing. Other than that, you don't know too much about the surface. The colony is around 200 years old, so they left when space travel was far slower and less refined. You know that they had two warships with them, small, light capital ships, as well as a complement of essentially paramilitary. Well, around 10 years ago, the mining and the transport stopped, communication was lost, and a transmission was received that there was a coup d'etat and a guy named Confucius had taken over, and they had cut ties with the SSA, the Solar System Authority, and the unions of Prime. You guys are sent there to deal with this. You read between the lines. Dolby, you can take it from here.
Okay. We read between the lines, and we just have to convince these people to either join back with the SSA or be destroyed.
Indeed, your gunship has a couple tactical nukes on it, and these are not like 1,000 kiloton whatever nukes. They are tactical nuclear warheads.
But Dolby's also aware that he's on thin ice, and so destroying the colony is not ideal.
It is definitely not ideal. Same time. At the same time. All right. That's where you are.
And there are two other people.
Where we last left off. Where we last left off. Alfred, your ship's RI, a recalcitrant, sarcastic computer who's definitely not sentient, who definitely doesn't harbor secrets, who has in fact admitted he is it is an operative of the SSA. this is a pretty big deal to Dolby, has just been lobotomized. You guys were pulled out of cryosleep. Alfred pulled you out and pulled you out of the gravity well, or the gravity drive, I should say. You're in the system of Novus, of Terra Novus, and as far as you know, you haven't been scanned or any of that stuff. Alfred pulls you out because you run across the pirate ship that actually attacked Katrina Telmas's vessel. So you guys found Katrina Telmas in a derelict ship, and it had been attacked by pirates. You guys have just run across the pirate ship. Part of the ship has been blown out. Why? Because a new character, someone who doesn't make any sense, who doesn't seem like he's from around here, Archangel, collided with it. That's a whole story. If you want to know what that is, you can look at the previous episode of Into Space. Regardless, you go on a reconnaissance mission. Specifically, Dolby just fucking Captain Kirk's that shit and dives over there. Meets Archangel, this strange person that has odd technology. You pry open the cockpit of the pirate ship, finding 3 pirates, or actually 2 pirates and an SSA citizen who seems to be into forced labor to pilot the ship, and you subdue them. Archangel helps you in this, although his non-SSA rhetoric causes Dolby to ignite his laser sword. And that is where we actually left off. So, into the game, finally. But before we do that, hey Holker, who's our sponsor tonight?
Tonight's sponsor is a new role-playing game called DreadLore. DreadLore is a new role-playing game created by a man named Annual Day Olkerhay. Annual Day worked for hours on this new game set in a world called Last Store, about a man who rode a horse that he called Galadon. There is a lot of totally original stuff in this world. And if you want Annual Day to continue working on DreadLore, the introductory Patreon tier is $80 a week.
What was the name of that game again?
DreadLore.
DreadLore, oh.
$80 a week. That's all it is.
You know, honestly, DreadLore may have been a better name for DreadLore. Because it wouldn't have been misspelled all the time. I bet some motherfucker would have been like M-O-O-R. Lord. Oh, that's kind of a cool name for like the marshlands. The DreadLore.
Yeah. It's not related to
Annual Day Olkerhay.
Yeah, he worked for like 15 minutes on this.
At least.
At least.
At least. Well, thank you to DreadLore for supporting DreadLore.
They're totally different. This is based on D11s.
D11s.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. The ship is in a synchronous spin. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. We're going to say that. It's synced up with the movements of this derelict pirate ship. Katrina, you're on the Cool Mint, the gunboat, your all's gunboat. It's a strange feeling. You'll say that you're in the cryo chambers, which is in the belly of the ship, basically in the center of it. If you go forward, think of the Nostromo, I think that's what it's called in the Matrix, the Nostromo. Is that right?
No, is it? I thought Nostromo was an alien.
Yeah, maybe it was. At any rate, the Matrix ship. I forget what it's called. Doesn't matter. Point is, if you go forward, there's stairs, metallic, graded, that lead up to the cockpit. If you go back towards the back of the ship, the ass of the ship, you get into a locker changing area, and then beyond that, you can access the engines, specifically the star drive. To the right and left, alongside, almost like pontoons, that's where the sleeping quarters and storage is. You can also access systems, computer systems and such, from the cryo beds, which are on either side. So that's sort of like the engineering computer, diagnostic place. That's where you are. It's strange, this feeling. Perhaps, maybe you have, maybe you don't. You've been on the ship now for the better part of 4 or 5 years. Although, it might only feel like a few days to like a week. Because almost that entire time has been in cryosleep. In cryosleep, sometimes you don't wake up fully, not like Burgess, who just is allergic to the cryosleep chemicals, so he just wakes up. But everyone, every so often, has a lucid dream. And it's difficult to make sense of what that is. There's stories of space ghosts and raids and all that kind of stuff that people have seen while in these lucid dreams. And we're going to say that Katrina maybe has an inkling that during the cryosleep, she did have something. An image of people outside the glass of her cryo bed talking. You could remember the warble of their voices. One was a woman. The voice doesn't sound familiar. The other one was a man that has the same timbre as someone you've heard, but you'd have to bid or throw down to figure out what that is. Regardless, you're standing there rather alone. Josh, the pilot, is of course in the cockpit talking to Dole Engineering, who's wrapped up like the end of Empire Strikes Back with Luke in his hand. He's like all sweaty and such. He's clearly had a rough time. He's got this space blanket. It's all shiny around him. You can just barely hear them, and they're talking in the hushed tones of lovers that are having an argument. I want to say, Dolby, is Alice Brick on board?
No, just Skip Trace.
So Skip Trace is over there as well, right? As in, with you, you've got Alice and Burgess. Yeah. Katrina, you hear Skip Trace in the mess, which is, from your perspective, we'll say that you're facing the cockpit. On your left and right, you've got the cryo beds, and in front of you, the stairs and the diagnostic, the holograms of the diagnostics are flashing there. To the right, back right, is where the mess is. And you can hear Skip Trace moving about in there, doing something. His radio going off every so often as Dolby talks. What are you doing, Katrina?
So I actually am going to bid, because I'm going to bid quick thinking to have basically... Because Katrina has a minor implant to help her control her EVA suit. Mm-hmm. So when Katrina noticed the voices outside the her cryo bed, she actually activated her implant
Sure.
with with a couple of quick blinks, basically to start recording, so that way, because she knew she wasn't going to remember it consciously, so she made a quick recording of what was being said.
Nice. As you bid that, and that is exactly what had happened. And you start playing that recording. Sitting there, it starts. Again, it's the warble and muted sounds from behind this thick, transparent plastic, transparent glass, whatever it's called in Star Trek. It's a little bit difficult to understand. That said, the sound of the man's voice reminds you of Dolby. Difficult to hear what he says. It's kind of hushed. It's kind of angry. Or there's a latent threat behind his voice. You can't really hear intelligently or intelligibly what they're saying. But he's commanding this person. And the woman, she's not complaining, but you can tell that she's trying to defend herself. We'll say that this implant gives you maybe not images, or does it give you images? Is it just audio? What?
It would give me images, but obviously it wouldn't give me any more than what I could already see from the inside of the cryo tube.
As your eyes kind of like roll back in your head a little bit, and you're seeing this, think of like a cathode ray television that's granular, because the implant is communicating oddly with your brain, and it's not the same thing as seeing.
Yeah.
So the impulses are being interpreted. There's a frost on the glass, and you see a flash of Dolby. What color is your laser sword?
I think it's blue-ish. Well, I mean, it's gray, but it sparks blue.
This gray, almost like a lightning bolt, explodes out with these blue pulses everywhere that electrify the inside of the cryobed that you're in. And you see Dolby, like a medieval warrior, pull up the laser sword and cut down. You hear the flesh burn and cauterize, and you see this head almost in slow motion fall off. The hair short cut,
like
dark,
it was a movie.
like a movie. And it's the same face, the same visage, the head that you saw when you actually popped out of stasis when the crew found you. As you realize you're somehow seeing Dolby's murdering or execution of Sergeant Dustone, which you were not here for. As the transmission ends, you notice some glyphs go down around, and computer code, which is unusual. Hey, are you okay? You feel a hand, firm grip on your shoulder as you hear Skip Trace's gruff voice. Are you okay?
Yeah, just coming out sometimes takes a little while. I'm still kind of out of it, but so what's going on?
Well, first things first. The lieutenant said we should get dressed. As he kind of like looks down and looks back up. As you've just gotten out of cryo sleep, which means you're fucking nude.
Katrina will look at him not knowing anything about him. Why? What's the matter? Like something you see?
You note, as opposed to other people that you've encountered, other Zens, especially out on the proximal colonies, on your runs, with the mercenaries, this guy's a Marine. He's a prime Marine Corps Marine. As when you say that to him, he's like an oak tree with a small breeze. Like, there's nothing on his face as he just kind of nods. Get dressed. We might have to go help the lieutenant. And he turns, almost like he didn't. It's like his programming or something just canceled, just deleted that, redacted whatever you just did. And he turns on a heel and starts into the mess again. He stops at the door. You should probably get something to eat. And
Katrina will actually call after him. Should I get my EVA gear on?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. And Katrina will go back to the changing room and start getting all that on.
You do. You notice the changing room is in disarray. Like, people came in here real quick and got dressed up. On the pirate ship, the Rorigan, as it is known, the hull's been, like, the belly of it has been blown out. It looks like something has careened with it and just ripped it out. Space debris floating alongside it. It's a dizzying, almost sickening sight if you look out into space, because the ship is actually spinning, and you can see the swirl of the massive gas giant and the binary star system, just like you're going down a space drain. Locked in that synchronous spin is your guy's ship. Dolby, you're standing there. Burgess, you're there as well. And Alice Brick has her big gun out. She's actually at the door, the impromptu exploded door, of the belly of the ship. She's locked in just for safety, holding the gun down at the ready. Burgess, you can be wherever you want. Dolby, you're at the front where the cockpit is. The door has been opened. There's two pirates there. One has an eye patch. One is rather good looking. Looks like maybe the captain of the ship, just by his bearing. They're both on their knees. They have their hands up. Their heads are down. Sitting in the pilot seat, turned around, you notice a young-looking man who's... I'm trying to remember how I described them. They're all... Huh?
I don't think you described him.
They're all wearing emergency pressure suits. So with the whatnot, because they had an explosion. In front of you is Archangel. Archangel is wearing this leather jacket. He's got this massive helmet on with these almost like bug eyes and these tubes that come out. He's got these wings that are glowing blue with this blue light. And he has this huge, it's not huge, heavy contraption, which is quite obviously a gun. He's holding down. Your laser sword is at your side, ignited. Action's on you guys.
I'm gonna ask Archangel some questions. What did you do to our RI?
I did what you asked me to do.
I didn't ask you to disable it. We need that
As
equipment.
He's tapping on this, basically a Pip-Boy. As you see, like, some holographs going in these clinkers.
Alfred's a piece of work. I get that, but we need that equipment for Craster.
No. I know.
Not Craster. It's what is that? The Earth Alliance planet. Not Earth Alliance.
I don't know what it's called.
Prime.
It's called the AOS, Alliance of Settlements. The sole system authority has a claim on this vessel, and it looks like the pilot is one of our citizens. So you should stand down and give us our RI back before you get to see the alternative option.
Dolby, you can see your laser sword's light reflected off of Archangel's helmet and the various bug eyes that he's got going on, like almost like these goggles. As looking at him, you know he's a capable warrior. You've seen it. But just looking at him, he's not at all in an aggressive stance at all. He looks like a geek in a cool suit. Like, just from Dolby's perspective, you being a Marine, he doesn't look like a soldier at all. He's just kind of sitting there as he kind of like cocks his head to the side and looks. Well, yeah, I mean, everyone's got a claim on everything, and he kind of moves out of the way, allowing you entry. As for the RI, is that what you called it? Tick, 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 tick. I mean, you got all of the information. You want me to put him? You want me to put him back?
Maybe. Can you give him a little attitude adjustment, just to make him just a little bit more compliant?
I mean, yeah, he's a computer program. I can.
Well, you saw the give and the take, you know.
Tick, tick, tick. I mean, I can try.
Really would be doing us a service. I mean, I don't know who you are, but you clearly helped out our position in the short term. Where's your spaceship?
It's not here. It's kind of a hard thing to describe. This was an accident. But if you want me to do this, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Well, we need that working again before we start. Cherokee, you know something about code. Would you
Cherokee's,
keep an eye on?
Is Cherokee here, or is he on your ship?
Yeah, I know Cherokee's here.
He came over.
He arrived with
Cherokee,
Burgess and
huge guy,
Britt.
huge space marine, floats over, a big magnetic boot stunk onto the floor next to you as he kind of looks over and down at you. Dolby. Yeah, what do you need, Lieutenant?
I need an RI that maybe has a slightly more pleasant demeanor than the last one.
I mean, he looks at Archangel. They both, like programmers, shrug. He's right. I mean, that Alfred was a dick, but you know, it's a pretty complicated program. You hear Archangel say, I mean, it's really not that big of a... Never mind. He looks over at you. It's gonna take...
Do we still have Katrina's ship in tow? We did when we left. I thought we were pulling that with us, or did we just scrap it?
I don't think you can't take it on the gravity drive.
You can't. We couldn't.
No, I think you grabbed as much of
yeah, we pulled whatever gear
the engines and the power cells that you could. And I think you grabbed a cryo bed too.
Yeah, we grabbed a cryo bed as well. All right, well, you guys do your best. This ship is clearly not going anywhere. Maybe
it would help if I could actually access physically your systems, Archangel says.
Well, you just did. You shut down our RI. Alfred is now a flying brick. I mean, not you, Brick.
Listen, I don't mean to like talk down to you. I know that you're like the authority and all these things, but you don't really know how this works. So I'm telling you that I need access to the system if you want me to do this.
And I'm telling Sue to do
Susan.
Cherokee Sue to do everything he can to facilitate, or everything they can to facilitate Archangel's needs and to watch them, and maybe include engineering on the task as well.
Okay, are you guys going to bid your NPCs to do stuff?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bid. I'd like to bid Cherokee Sue to watch and help our Archangel to.
You guys good with that?
Restore. And maybe bid Archangel to restore Alfred to a functioning.
Holker, are you down with that?
Yeah, but what if we bid Archangel to restore Alfred and Archangel does his own nefarious thing?
Are you saying that in game? That would be an in-game thing.
Yeah. Lieutenant Dolby.
Yeah. Does Archangel still have access to and control of our comms? I think that Archangel.
He's already saying it.
Hear everything that we can say. What is that?
Gotta be in game.
Yeah, it's in game. I say, Lieutenant Dolby, what we just met him. You gonna give him free reign over Alfred?
Well, he disabled Alfred with the push of a couple of buttons. Do you have any better ideas? Do you?
Well, look. Why would he even ask? If he disabled Alfred the first
for
time.
control?
Huh?
Well, maybe we hold him here. Maybe that's the answer, is we hold him here. But I feel like this guy could get Alfred working again more than engineering and Cherokee Sue combined, potentially. Are you guys on
public comms, or are you on?
Yeah, we're all on the same comm. Archangel has our comms. We're clearly under
out of game. So out of game. What I'm asking is, apart from what Archangel has, you guys can talk directly to each other, and you can do public comms as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we would be talking on a private channel. Archangel is taken our RI offline in a matter of seconds. I'm not sure if we can complete the mission without Alfred.
It also seems like we can't complete this mission without Archangel. How convenient.
Yeah, well, in this moment, we are kind of stuck. That's why I'm having Cherokee Sue watch him. He looks like some kind of technologically savvy nerd, but I think up close and personal, we could take him.
As you guys are having this conversation, Cherokee and Archangel can't hear you ostensibly. Cherokee and he walk over to where Alice is. Alice and Cherokee kind of share a glance as Archangel and Cherokee get to the edge, the lip of the hull breach, and push off towards the ship. Push off towards the cool net to board it. As you guys are locked, it's a pretty safe bet, although it is rather ballsy to do so without any kind of attachment. But Dolby, you know that Cherokee is that way.
Yeah.
And Archangel doesn't seem worried.
Burgess, Brick, can you secure the personnel on this, and then we'll come back once we have our ship functional.
Secure them.
Alice walks up with her mag boots. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Lieutenant. Do you want him in bound and such? Or?
Yeah, I think the two. I think we take these two, Kerrigan and Logan. Keep them in tethered. Keep an eye on their citizen. We should all go back to the ship. Is there any air? Is this a functional ship, or is this not a functional ship?
So it's hard to tell. Although the guess would be, I mean, it was knocked out of the sky. So there's a hull breach that's the size of a room.
Yeah. So
it's not airtight for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna take these guys and secure them on our vessel, if that is okay with you, Private Burgess.
Burgess, what do you do?
Brick.
Actions on you. You are with Brick.
I follow his order. I go up there and I secure them.
How?
I see if I got any gear.
I look at problems that way.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if I got any of this ninja gear.
Aha. Alice kind of waits for you, Burgess, to see what your play is. How are you going to deal with this? Meanwhile, she's covering you with her big gun. The two guys, Kerrigan and Logan, who are on their knees, don't look up. The guy sitting down, whoever that is, in the pilot seat, he's got his hands up too. He looks nervous, but he's clearly not with them. He's got like some bruises and stuff on his face and whatnot.
What's he look like?
So, oh wait a minute. Do you just have? Is that him?
No, that was Logan and Kerrigan.
That was Logan and Kerrigan. Yeah. This guy is quite young looking. He has, think of Keanu Reeves in A Scanner Darkly. Is that right? What I'm thinking? No, it's not A Scanner Darkly. Is it Scanner Darkly?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Where
really short hair.
He does. He was the cop until he did all the drugs, and then he became one of them. Oh wait,
I think so.
Or is that something else?
No, I think it's something else. I think I'm thinking of something else. Maybe it's not A Scanner Darkly. Fuck. Anyway.
Darker skin.
Really, really dark, spiky hair, black, ethnically ambiguous. To your eyes, he probably looks like a Voidborn, meaning he grew up on a station. Almost translucent skin, despite there being pigment in it. He just has not seen the sun. His limbs and such are a little bit longer. His fingers, his digits are a little bit longer. The way he moves is obviously still a Zen, still human, but there's something a little bit off about him, like ghoulish, if you will.
What's your name, citizen?
He speaks in a heavy accent, but you can make it out. He says, Willem, sir.
How long have you been captive on this ship?
I suppose, I don't know. We were in cryo for a long time. As he kind of looks down at these guys. They got me from a station.
Or what station were you?
It's called 0100 where we were.
100. Where's that?
0100, sir.
Where is that?
As you say where, you see him kind of struggle for a second. Where is hard to say. We moved around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. What system?
We were in Axminster there for a while, before coming out this'um way.
Have I heard of any of this stuff?
You could bid.
I'm gonna bid a space pirate. No, I'm gonna bid.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna bid my origin, which is Ganymede. I'm a guy born in space on a moon, and I've heard of a lot of different moons.
I'm a dude.
I'm a guy
Playing a dude.
been around the galaxy.
Being all around the galaxy. Right. Meanwhile, Burgess, how are you securing these guys?
I actually have on my ninja gear. I have sewing equipment. I tie them up.
They're
With-
zip tied.
With needle and thread? Like with what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I need you to tell me how this works.
So I tie them up, and
With what?
with the needle and the thread. And no, here's how it works. Here's how it works. I tie them up and I say, well, guys, I know it doesn't, I know the thread doesn't look very strong, but I will warn you. If you break free, it will set off a trap.
So you're gonna have to kill him with laughter. So you get him in a
What do you-
stitch.
Oh. Oh, it
It will
hurts
set off a trap.
me. It hurts me. What do you bid? For the sewing trap.
Well, no. I don't have to bid anything because
No, I know what you're saying. What do you bid to do this and have an effect?
I bid sewing equipment, and I bid medic.
You only need one.
Oh yeah, I bid my ninja gear sewing equipment.
All right. Dolby, we'll say that you've walked out. Maybe you're looking around at the ship.
By the way, do they say anything in response?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that. You've walked around, maybe looked around at the ship as you've come back, and now you're talking to this young man. It's really difficult to figure out how old he is. There's no lines on his face whatsoever. As you see Burgess pull out a needle and thread from his little pouch. You guys are in, spacesuits, but these spacesuits are in the future, so you have dexterity. He pulls out a sewing needle and a wheel of thread and starts meticulously going back and forth, tying these guys up, their hands in front, as he says these things on the little speaker so they can hear, because there's no atmosphere. And they're looking at each other as one might expect. They look up at you. We'll say that Kerrigan, the captain, he has like a little insignia. It's a little star or something like with like a moon on it. As he goes, I think I understand. As the first mate looks at him. Yeah. They both look confused and creeped out. Burgess.
Yeah. So once I'm done with that, once they're tied up, I'll have them stand in front of me.
Alice leans over. She says, she puts her helmet on yours so the resonance goes through, and it's kind of a private conversation. And she says, Burgess, You know that's not going to hold.
Yes, it will. You and I are going to stand here. We're going to show them how it's going to hold.
Oh, okay.
I say,
She sits back.
I say to them, I know it doesn't look very strong, but if you break it, my comrade here is going to slice you in two, and then I'm going to shoot you with my sidearm, and I'm going to take this hammer that I also have and hammer your face.
As she holds up the gun, and they're like, and
yeah,
though,
it looks a lot stronger than it seems now, doesn't it?
they don't say anything. Dolby, this cockpit is rather cramped. Are you having this conversation in here with this kid while all this is going down? Do you pull him out or what?
Well, is he just sitting there? I mean, he's in a space. He's in a spacesuit, right? And none of the dials are spacesuit-esque. Like the ship is seemingly dead. It's not.
No, there's power. It's just not going anywhere.
Power. It's just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a close eye on if he makes any sudden moves or does anything that I don't want him to do. I'm certainly going to react, but I do want to interrogate him. And
so you're doing it in the cockpit.
Yeah,
it's rather cramped in here.
Yeah.
Also, your laser sword is still on.
Oh, I'm gonna turn it off. I don't want to frighten this kid.
I was gonna give you a chaos roll pretty soon.
I mean, now that everything is kind of settled down, Brick and Burgess have the crew taken.
Yep, and they will leave the cockpit and start heading toward your all ship, which we'll get to in a second. What did you bid to know where Axminster was?
Well, I bid Ganymede, but I feel like I should really bid my rank, which is first lieutenant, second grade of the naval, the
PMC.
PMC.
As you bid that, you will know as an officer the main systems and whatnot. Axminster is a distal system.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the colonies that they're called the Pigs, Piggs. The Pigs mostly were the on old Earth, the Australian sort of Polynesian Union, that area, because there were the 5 big unions, and they are venerated because a lot of them chose a long time ago to settle, to be some of the first settlers in the distal colonies in the Axminster system. And so their progeny actually have an elevated status in Prime. They have, it's not actual power, but they can sit on the councils, basically to honor the sacrifice that their forefathers had. Very contentious nowadays. That said, Axminster they cut ties with the Sol System Authority a few hundred years ago.
Oh, wow.
And there have been a couple wars that way. Technically, it is an armistice. So the Axminster system, the SSA still claims, it's essentially like Korea. They still claim it, but it is an armistice. Even the SSA admits that they are at least semi-autonomous. It's very far. We're talking like a good 15-ish light years.
You're pretty far away from your home there.
Yeah. I think we were in cryo for quite a while. Quite a while before.
Why'd you come out this way?
Also, I'm going to give you another bit of knowledge. You
Okay.
guys, the rate that you guys move is military grade. You're using Mark V gravity drives. The general populace either doesn't have a gravity drive, so they're using light sails. They either do that or they know the eddies, the gravity lanes. If you know the gravity lanes, ostensibly, supposedly, you can go to much faster quote unquote speeds. You're not really going faster, they're using shortcuts. So depending on who this guy is, he might, all that could be going through your head.
So you know your parsecs.
I know a thing or two.
So how long have you been on this trip?
What do you mean, sir?
Like, how long have you been trekking out this way? Do you know?
Out this way.
When did you leave your Axminster?
Oh, Axminster. I'm not from there. We're from the black. As he kind of gives you he arcs almost an albino-ish eyebrow. You notice like his hair is all black, but like we'll say just to make him look freaky, his eyebrows are white.
Oh wow!
As it
black.
becomes rather clear to you that he's a Voidborn.
Well, do you
Meaning
mind
he probably
coming
is from a lifeboat.
Yeah. Do you mind coming with us?
It's better than this wreck.
Yeah.
Thanks, by the way. Although, he kind of looks at you. I'm not 100% natural.
What does that mean? You're not 100% natural.
You
Do
can
I
bid
know
or
what
throw
that
down.
means?
You
think
can either
I-
bid or throw down.
Might know what that means. Oh, it's enhanced.
Right.
People
you
are
get a pip.
enhanced.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a pip. You know that he is a netic, which
Yeah,
means if he says he's not 100% natural, and just from the look on his face, he's probably more than a little bit
Yeah.
cybernetic.
I don't have a
As
problem
in-
with.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. We won't take you back home with us. We'll find a nice place for you out here.
Oh. Well, I appreciate that. Where are we actually?
You don't know where, yeah, but you're the pilot, right? You don't know where.
No. They woke us. They woke me from cryo because of the disaster. As he points at the
Yeah.
huge hole. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think they
think
were
so.
trying to land here.
Was that a?
Maybe.
Now, was that because of Archangel, or was that because of something else?
I don't know. You hear in your headset, Dolby. Shh. Yeah, that was me. Sorry about that. As Archangel just pops in.
Okay, good to know. Well, I bet we got a use for you on our ship. We're at Novus Terra. Have you heard of it?
Novus Terra. Holker, will you roll me a d12? Whoa, that is a picture.
Oh, are you just now seeing him?
Yeah, just saw. He's got
Leak.
he's got the fucking
You want high or low?
facial hair. Call it.
I didn't get the note about the eyebrows until like after. So.
He's
Look
got
at some.
it's
high.
facial hair. High? And you called high?
No,
I didn't call it.
Okay,
I thought
Anything.
that's fine.
okay.
He kind of nods. I think I've heard of it. On the cool mint. Now dressed. Tell Miss, what are you doing?
Okay. So two things. First, I do want to say that Holker's idea with a thread is actually kind of brilliant, in the sense that combined with the threat, the fragility of the thread actually is a benefit, not a weakness.
Right. No,
So-
I dig it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you want me to spend a pip or a narrative point, if I could even do this, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting that remember that little a quick hack I had tried to use to get more information about their mission before. So what if the RI, whose name I can't remember all of a sudden, Alfred. Okay. I wonder if he didn't delete that program, but put it in a quarantine or something, and then when he got shut off, it kind of went back to work.
What do you mean?
Basically, he didn't delete the program when when he caught me and basically confronted me about it. Instead, he sort of put it in a quarantine to intern it inside his own systems.
Sure.
So when he got
would you like to
lobotomized,
remind me and everybody what was the program? What did it spit? It was just a root control, right? A backdoor.
Yeah, it was just something that Katrina had found, that she was basically like, I don't know who these people are. I want to know more about what they're all about. So she tried to insert it into the system to get more information about their mission and such.
Yeah, I think that's good. Sure. Yeah, he just quarantined it, and now there's no, as far as you know, Alfred is not there actively to protect that. Yeah, that would be a pip.
Okay.
Since it happened in the past.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that can be running, and then you can decide whatever you want to give me from that.
Sure.
So Katrina will, now that she's gotten all suited up, she goes, well, I guess since I don't exactly know what's going on, I'll go and get some food real quick. And so she heads to the mess hall and to see what's available.
Yeah, you do. It's general marine rations, squeeze tubes and that kind of stuff, and gruel and whatnot.
Concentrated food product.
Yeah. There's one that has an orange. It's just sort of this. What color am I like peach paste. And as you walk in, you'll see Skip Trace squeezing it into his mouth, from here. So it's blah, 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 in the air. He just catches it as he looks over. It's good stuff. They feed us well.
Katrina will actually get a horrified look on her face. And,
Do you want?
Yeah.
Would you like
sure.
some? Would you like some? We have. He opens this space drawer. We've got some meat in here, some beef meat. We've got some fish protein. We've got some.
And these are likewise all in tubes.
Deer flavored protein. Ooh, here's a turtle.
Well, now I'm vaguely intrigued by the turtle, so toss it to me.
As he tosses it to you, it's in a yellow tube.
Katrina will catch it and, I guess, unscrew it or whatever.
Yeah. This is how you do
she'll
it.
Start. Katrina, I'll look at and just sort of put the tube in my mouth and just squeeze it and just start sucking on it almost.
It tastes kind of like chicken. Imagine chicken toothpaste. Has a little bit of a slight pepperminty taste.
Why would chickens need toothpaste?
Good question. It's the future. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, what else are you doing after you eat?
So, and she'll actually look over. So, are we just standing by until they say that they need us, or what?
You could probably go down. I'm making sure everything is in order here. You could probably go down to the airlock. I think, as he taps on his radio. I think the lieutenant's having Burgess bring some prisoners over. Could help with that.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. And actually, Katrina will go ahead and put on her helmet and seal it up and head down to the words are
Airlock.
escaping me tonight. The airlock, yeah.
As you get down there, you notice Alice Brick first, with, oh hey, you notice Alice Brick with, no, I'm sorry, you notice Archangel with Cherokee Sioux being enormous, this huge space marine, and as I described Archangel, this guy he's kind of, at first you'd think, oh, he's floating there because there's no gravity, but you note he's actually moving. His wings, they're not very large. They're maybe just out to here. They emit a blue light. He's moving around without touching the ground, following Cherokee Sioux. As he looks up, helmet on, sees you, Cherokee, of course, does what he always does. He's like, hey, Thomas. Like, way nicer than any Space Marine should ever be. As Archangel goes, oh, hey. Tapping, a holographic display engages, and he and Cherokee are messing with what you know is Alfred, or his code, his base code.
Hi.
Oh, everybody needs to
and
hydrate.
You are.
You can call me Archangel. Hi.
Yeah, that's not.
Who are you?
Is that like? Are we using our superhero names then?
He kind of turns. Kind of.
Well, given that fancy backpack you got there, I can see why.
He kind of nods and continues working.
You can call me Cat.
Cat?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to meet you.
You too. You too. So, what you guys doing there?
Well, I think it's your lieutenant. As he looks up at Cherokee, Cherokee gives him a nod and kind of this goofy smile. Your lieutenant wants us to get Alfred, the computer. He looks back up at Cherokee. The computer that's not intelligent. Right, back online. But nicer. Huh. Never met a nice computer.
So that's why I started working again. And it's just sort of trail off to her, to herself a little bit. And well, so what happened to him?
I mean, you can help, but your lieutenant really wanted this to happen quick, and conversation and coding, yeah.
What's the matter? You don't have a implant to make it easier?
As he kind of turns, you notice you can't see his eyes. He's got the helmet on. As he kind of cocks his head to the side and regards you silently for a moment. As he kind of goes, huh, and shrugs and starts doing something on his wristband again.
Ooh, a manual. Now I'm more intrigued. Well, I'll let you get back to work, but we're going to have a chat later.
Yeah, sure thing. Burgess is doing that. Yeah, Burgess, you and Alice are transporting these guys across the way. Do you just jump for it? Do you attach a lifeline? How are you doing this?
So we have to leap through what, space? And
yeah. It's about a football field away of nothing. All around you is spinning. You see a gas giant. Meanwhile, the stars and the binary star system going everywhere. Disconcerting. Straight ahead, you see your all ship synced up with the spin of yours, and there's space debris all over that's sitting still, maybe like spinning on its own, but 100 yards.
I say, Private Brick,
Yeah.
Go ahead of us.
All right. As she has her own lifeline and she
Before you go,
shoots the thing.
yeah, wait. Yeah, wait when you get there.
Fair enough. She looks at the guys who are tied up. Y'all behave now. She puts her gun on the magnetic seal and takes off across, zipline style. Zing. Silence. And the spin. Burgess, you can tell that Logan, the guy with an eye patch, has one dead eye set on your old ship, locked in. It seems like he's very confident. Kerrigan, though, is obviously nervous.
Before they go, I'm going to look at them and I'm going to bid Gunslinger to see if they got anything that they didn't tell me about.
Okay, how does that work? Tell me what happens.
A gunslinger has to be ready to take guns that are hidden in places and sling them out.
It's an interesting usage of the word.
Yeah.
So you're bidding Gunslinger to be perceptive or to just have your gun at the ready? Okay. What do you say? As they're not going to say anything unless they're prompted.
No, I look.
You look at them.
No, I look over their suit. I say, and I lie to them. I say, guys, before you go.
I lie, okay?
Yeah. I say, I'm gonna look over to make sure your suits aren't damaged, so that you can make this jump. And I look over them.
So you look them over, bidding Gunslinger with your keen eye. You can tell that the P suits, the pressure suits they're in, are emergency pressure suits. Like, they're not easily ripped and torn, because why would you build a pressure suit that can be easily ripped or torn? But it's not great equipment. It is literally to be used just in case there's a hull breach and you have to get into something, which it's pretty obvious is what happens since you're literally standing in the rupture of the hull. It is sealed. You can tell they probably have 5 hours of air, but it looks like it's in good order.
Okay. I then say, both of you go.
Kerrigan, as you bid, it's pretty obvious to you that Logan, and we'll say they have like name tags, so they didn't technically tell you what their names were. They have like little deals on their spacesuits. Logan seems like he's just a veteran of space travel, and has the scars to prove it. Kerrigan looks like he's a duster, so he spends most of it. He's a landlubber. He spends most of his time on planet.
I tell them, now follow Private Brick.
Okay. As Logan doesn't even look at you, he just kind of walks over to where the zipline thing is. Grabs on to the little device and zing, and he makes it. Kerrigan walks over, kind of looks at you, looks back, grabs onto it, and like does the thing where like he moves back to get momentum, which there's no reason to do this whatsoever, because he thinks that there's gravity to swing him forward, and that doesn't exist here. As he kind of like goes topsy-turvy, and as he swings out and sends off, he kind of like his body slowly moves off to the left, and he starts rotating over the line. Let's make a chaos roll. Hey, Andrea, Would you roll me a d6? And tell me if it's a 1. Ken looks amused.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, if he dies, like after I made this wonderful, like at least we got a moment out of it, you know. At least he got some screen time before the end.
I can look at the other guy if you want.
No, I like the other guy. The other guy has an eye patch. This guy's like, you know, easy come, easy go. It's bleak.
What is with the facial hair? This guy's facial hair, it's like he's wearing it.
I don't know. He's got no upper lip. I mean, you kind of described them as
they are kind of weird,
kind of odd.
What was the? Go on.
It was a 3.
3? As he slowly spins, and if there were air and you could hear him, you would hear him like, oh! God, oh! Like yelling, but you can't. He's just slowly spinning.
Huh?
As he slams in to the cool mitt, you don't hear it. You just see him. Telmus, you see this guy with an eye patch expertly land. Cherokee turns around with pulling out his gun and points it at him at the ready. He's obviously just covering him as the guy is bound with this like thread. A few moments later, you see the train wreck coming this way as the other guy is spinning, and you see his mouth and like the fear in his eyes and the sweat and the shit right floating in his helmet. Like he's like freaking out, holding on for dear life as you hear this, because you feel it in the ship since you're standing right next to the door. This pong as he slams into it, a look of pain on his face as this other guy goes to help him. We're going to do a chaos roll. Dolby, roll me a d6. Nice.
6.
As he goes and helps him, grabs him, and somehow does not tear the thread. As he pulls him in to the ship, and the guy is clearly injured. On that note, let's take a short break. Use El
Break
Baño,
time.
get some coffee, do your thing. Any announcements before we break?
Yeah, we got a whole slew of announcements. For instance, we have been playing what some might call DreadLore's Into Space. DreadLore's Into Space is a one-shot kind of weekly thing that we do sometimes, starring Bill, Ken, Drizzle, Daniel, Andrea, and Jazzy Cabbage. Score by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Our Patreon is Tim Roberts, Daniel Holker, and Nostalgic. Thanks Couchfire Media for the art and media production. And last but not least, story and setting and all this other kind of fun stuff brought to you by Trois Reblay Productions. Subscribe today, soldier. Become a citizen. We'll be back. 10.